right, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Two Dudes Podcast. We know you missed us, but we are back, and this is show number 92. So glad you're here to join us in our own little crazy corner of the world. I'm Rick, that's Kevin. And how was your holidays, Kev?
It was cool, nothing spectacular what I expected. Just typical. Hung out with my kids for a little bit, came back to the house. Then on New Year's, ended up having them because of COVID. Just hung out with them and that was it.
All right, so check it out. We might as well get the sad stuff out the way because we had a lot of people that passed away over the holidays. Three prominent people. Dan Reeves. What did you know about Dan Reeves?
Shit, I thought he was already dead, so that didn't bother me none.
Damn, that's cold. I want to be like you when I grow up, because that was pretty cold.
Nah, shit, I thought he was, and he was old as fuck.
Betty White.
They trying to deny that she had COVID. From what I saw, but at the same time, she was old as shit and she was getting less and less in appearances, so her time was come.
99, I mean, something was gonna get her sooner or later.
Yeah.
And the big boy, John Madden.
And he had disappeared from the face of earth, so kind of thought he was in a hospital or something.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Because I'm Raider fan, we hear from Coach quite often because on certain social media things, he'll do posts or he'll talk to somebody or they'll do an interview with him. So we were used to seeing him. So I think it hit Raider fans a lot harder than other fans in the league. So anyway, let's talk TV real quick to start off. So Heather and I have been binging Yellowstone, of all things. I heard about it and I heard stuff about it, and people were like, you gotta watch this, you gotta watch this. I didn't think anything of it. I thought, this thing ain't gonna be no good. Let me tell you, bro. Yellowstone is off the chain. If you can stream it, I say go ahead and do it. I believe it comes on the Paramount Network.
Mm-hmm. I think one of my good friends told me about it. I was like, it's a Western. I'm good.
No, it's not. The prequel is if you do Yellowstone 1813 or whatever it is. We didn't do that. Just the regular show, Yellowstone. It is modern day.
And I ain't watched it. Can't say I'm going to because it just doesn't hold my interest. I saw it and I was like, okay. I think it's on Hulu, if I'm not mistaken, on the replay value or whatever. And I was like, I'm good. Then I don't have access to Paramount either. I refuse to pay for another streaming site.
I don't blame you there. These streaming sites, they're getting out of hand. All right, so did you catch up on season 1, episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett?
I had it on yesterday and just let it play. I didn't care about it. It's not gonna hold me. I'm not even gonna try to watch it. The first episode was dry and boring as hell.
What was boring about it?
The whole damn thing. Nothing was entertaining about it. I'm not into the whole Star Wars world. It's a waste of time. So I was like, I tried. I literally was on my phone walking around letting it play.
Yeah, I think that you and I look at this whole Star Wars world quite differently. Star Wars is at an all new height in popularity. And you also have to forget that it's Star Wars, even though there's Star Wars characters in it, because there is a lot going on, and it is definitely worth the watch. Now, I'll give you a shortcut if you don't feel like watching them. Just go ahead and go to my other channel, Rewind, Relive, and Review. Every Thursday after the episode drops on Wednesday, I put together a episode recap. Last one was last Thursday. Day after tomorrow at 6 a.m., you'll be able to catch the episode 2 recap, because I hit it first thing in the morning and get it produced and ready. Warning, there are spoilers. Now, what are you watching on TV right now?
I watched Hawkeye. That wasn't bad. There's a new black comedy on NBC called The Grand Crew. That's not bad. I think if NBC keeps money behind it, I think they'll see their return in it. Kind of a new, like, showing how we can be social. Not bad. It could be a good replacement of Blackish, since this is Blackish's last season starting this week. Trying to think. Really ain't watching nothing for real. Just, I caught up on Puerto Rican PI. That wasn't bad. Caught up on SWAT, but like anything new, I'm not really watching anything. Ain't really nothing out there that holds my interest, and I'm barely watching any TV as it is, really.
Okay, so I saw parts of that Grand Crew. It didn't really interest me. Now, it wasn't anything that outright sucked, and I might give it another chance. I did also watch that other one that they advertised on NBC. What's the Otto one?
Mm-hmm. That was okay. They was trying too hard in that. But Grand Crew was, I think, is more relatable for me than it would be for you.
Interesting.
They're all like 30 something, they're kind of successful trying to figure life out. I think it's more for the late 20s, 30s demographic, and some of us 40-year-olds are kind of sprinkled in there. And I did watch, I was childish. I didn't watch the season. I watched the last episode of Insecure, and that shit was trash. That whole show was trash. But like my homie said today, that show ain't for me. It's for like his brother's age group, for the millennials. We had our version of Insecure, and it was called Girlfriends.
Yeah.
And just hearing, and I watched like the little documentary they did on the last season filming. Hearing people like, oh, Issa, you change your culture. No, the hell she wasn't. She was not a trendsetter. Wasn't nothing cultural about it. One of her was like, oh man, she black woman with natural hair. Nigga, she ain't the first one on TV like that. It just, I don't get the overwhelming unnecessary praise for subpar work.
Ouch.
I mean, like, it was cool, yeah, some of the shit may have been original per se, but the core of the show is nothing but girlfriends. You got 4 successful black women trying to figure out life. What was Girlfriends? 4 successful black women trying to figure out life.
Yes, that's true. I'm old school, so I'm always going. It wasn't 4 women; it was just a couple, 3. But I always like living single.
And but that was on the comedy aspect. But same premise. Give me some dear. Oh, you put a wrinkle because the lead character was supporting a supposed deadbeat, but once he got his shit together, he was far from a deadbeat. I'm like, man, get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, I feel you on that, but what was that show? And I can't say it was 100% like those or followed that, but they throw a few athletes in there, and I guess it was supposed to attract a lot of the dudes to watch too.
I'm talking about the game.
Yes, thank you.
The game was good when it was on no, before it went to BET, it was good. When it was on the CW. When it went to BET and became a dramedy, it turned to trash. The game actually wasn't a bad show in the beginning, but as far as showing, but then we got Ballers, nothing but a game on steroids. It's like we talk about all the time, the originality is about as good as is about as good as when Cisco and all them did a remix of Secret Garden. That's about as good as shit is right now.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes you want the original back.
And granted, it was a decent remake, but you didn't even try to replace Barry White's part. So it's just like, what did you really do that was better? And like these remakes, although you say, oh, it's different, no, it's the same damn thing. When you get down to the bare bones and structure of it all, it's the same premise. What did you do that was different? Nothing.
All right, let's talk about movies real quick. Because I heard that John Wick 4 was going to get delayed and moved to 2023. This movie was supposed to come out the exact same day as The Matrix. Because everybody's like, oh, we get 2 movies with Keanu Reeves on the same day. It didn't happen. Not only did it not happen, it's got pushed for whatever reason to 2023. And the studio said something about it, didn't want to compete with all these blockbusters, quote unquote, coming out every month for 2023. So I got to thinking to myself, let me see what's coming out in 2023. So I'm going to go month by month with you here, and I'm going to talk about movies, 1 or 2 movies every month this year. And you tell me if you think it's going to be worth seeing or not. So we'll start off with January. On the 14th, Scream.
Yeah.
I don't know, because we've already had 3 Scream movies. Do we need to come back?
4. You had 4.
See, what does that tell you right there? I've had Scream overload.
But the thing is, scary movie genre is about as exciting as playing bingo with an old person. It's just, you notice, if you've already seen the first 4, the 5th one actually does look decent. You know how it's gonna go, you just don't know the end. And for me, I'm gonna see it with my oldest and the youngest. We're doing it for her birthday. She wants to go see it. So it's on kind of a different, it's like I'm introducing them to this whole platform of these movies. But it's worth seeing because the franchise is done good. Now, do they need one after this 5th one? Not so much. So, only time will tell.
I don't know. Now, 2 weeks after that, Morbius comes out. The first of many Marvel movies.
Well, that was Morbius.
Morbius is the living vampire. He's kind of like the evil version of Blade.
Pass.
I don't know. I want to see it because he's in the same universe as Spider-Man.
Really gonna pass then.
I forgot about your version of Spider-Man. Okay. February 4th, Jackass Forever. To be honest, I forgot all about the other Jackass movies.
I'll watch Boba Fett before I watch that.
Here's one that you caught on and you told me about. I looked at the preview and it's a no for me. Uncharted.
What was that again?
That's the one with Mark Wahlberg and the dude that plays Spider-Man.
I forgot what it was about.
All I know is in that preview, I saw old ships in the air.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean in the air. Yeah, I'll pass on that too.
All right, here's where, if you would have asked me a year ago, it would have been a hard pass. But now my curiosity's up. The Batman on March 4th.
If Christian Bale ain't playing Batman, I'm good.
I thought about that too, because Twilight Boy, as they call him, but every time they put out a preview, I'm like, damn, this movie looks like it's gonna be pretty good.
That's because you want it to be good. You're more of a DC than a Marvel guy. You
No,
want
never,
DC to have success.
never. I'm pro Marvel all the way.
Sounds shaky.
Anyway, let's move on to April. The 15th, Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore. That's a pass for me.
Yeah, I'm good on both of those.
Well, no, that's one movie. That's what it's called.
Oh, well, I'm good.
Now, here's one that I never heard of until I saw the trailer. April 22nd, The Northman. God, I forget the dude's name. I think it's Stellan Skarsgård. He played Tarzan in the last Tarzan movie. He's playing a Viking in this movie, him and Nicole Kidman, and he's on a quest for revenge.
Yeah. I ain't never seen 300. Sounds like another movie like 300. I'm going to pass on.
All right, then let's go to May. May 6th, another Marvel movie. Yeah, and yes, I am pro Marvel. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Gotta watch it.
I'll treat it like I did the first one. I'll catch it on Netflix or Disney Plus, whichever one.
Oh, it'll be on Disney Plus then, yeah. May 27th has two movies coming out. For you and the kids, you can take them to the Bob's Burgers movie, or you can go see Top Gun Maverick.
I'd rather play in traffic to see either one of those movies.
Wow, that's pretty risky nowadays in traffic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'd do that.
If Top Gun 2 had come out 10 years ago, I'd probably be interested.
How about we finally realized Top Gun wasn't that good of a movie? How about we just say that?
The Navy wouldn't agree with you on that because recruitment almost tripled after that movie came out.
White boys didn't know any better.
June.
I'd rather watch the Matrix movie than see that bullshit.
Wow, okay. All right, so June 10th, Jurassic World Domination.
That I'm a little intrigued by. Is Chris Pratt in that again?
Yes, he is. As a matter of fact, not only is he in it and Bryce Dallas Howard, excuse me, they are bringing back the old cast too. Jeff Goldblum, Sam Elliott.
See,
I know.
Now I'm losing interest. If I ain't got nothing else better to do, then I'll go see these old motherfuckers try to be young again.
It's Jeff Goldblum, bro.
Yeah, ain't he in a wheelchair or a walker or something?
No, he's not that.
How's he gonna save it? See, the retro shit is getting severely overplayed.
I'm intrigued by it still. Now, 1 week later, Lightyear comes out. That for me is take it or leave it. It's basically Buzz Lightyear movie.
After I saw Buzz getting a spinoff, Buzz's spinoff is 10 years too late.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Now,
unless my kids want to see that because they are Toy Story fans, I'm good on Buzz.
Now, if you go to July, Minions: The Rise of Gru. I'm thinking that we're at the point where we got too many Minions movies and stuff like that.
I got to see that. It hasn't disappointed. I'll see that.
1 week later, on the 8th, another Marvel movie, Thor: Love and Thunder. I got to see that.
I watched Ragnarok, so I'll probably invest in this one.
And closing out July on the 29th, another DC movie, The Rock in Black Adam.
I'm intrigued by that. I kind of want to see what Black Adam's going to be about. But I ain't seen no previews that really want to lock me into it. So I'm like a 55-50 on that one if I want to see it or not.
55-50. Good one. Yeah. We'll get to that later. August 26th, Samaritan. It is a Sylvester Stallone movie. That's all I know about it right now.
I don't feel like watching a movie with a translator, so I'm going to pass.
September 9th, we're starting to get into the horror movies. And this one is Salem's Lot. Why are we bringing back something old? They are remaking Salem's Lot. Keep in mind, they already remade it for a TV movie. It's a pass for me.
Same here.
Another Disney movie, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Had no idea that this was even on the radar. I'll wait.
Shrek is pretty much dead in these streets, so I'm good.
And September 30th, Mission Impossible 7.
I'm about that. I'm about that. I've been watching Mission Impossible since the third or fourth one, and I've seen all of them been impressed and liked it. So I have high expectations for this one.
Yeah, I've seen them all as well, and they haven't let me down. I am hoping that that they drop the 7 and give it a name like they have all the other Mission Impossible movies.
Which one was the one that Jeremy Renner was in?
He was in 2 of them. He was in
First
5
one he
and
was in,
6.
which one was that?
5 and 6.
So,
but he had more of a role in 5.
5's the one where with Robin Thicke's ex-wife in it, right?
Yes, yes.
I think 5's been the best one in the series.
Really?
Yes. I think 5 was good from start to finish.
I still stand behind 2.
Fans was 3. 3 was cool.
Yeah,
4
3
was good. 5 was like the epitome. 6 wasn't bad. Wouldn't have been mad if they didn't put it out. So 7's got to bring it back up. But I think 5 was the quintessential to where if they'd have ended on that, I wouldn't have been mad.
Well, I do need to let you know this.
95. If they'd have stopped at 5 or 6, I wouldn't have been mad with that series.
I do need to let you know, though, that they are filming 2 of them back to back. So there will be an 8th one. That much we know. So 7 better be good if they want to have hopes of making any money for 8. Now, if we jump to October 7th, I know Spider-Man is not your thing, but if you like the animated one, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, this is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, which means that they are going to do 2 of those.
Somebody need to get a fly squatter and just and crush him. They need to stop Spider-Man movies.
And rounding out October on the 14th, again with these horror films, Halloween Ends. I guess that's the sequel to the one that they had this past October. Halloween, what was it called? Halloween Begins or something? I don't know.
That's another franchise that needs to stop. The life they trying to give to it ain't happening.
All right, November 4th, another DC film, The Flash. I'm take it or leave it on that.
Who's playing Flash? I don't even know who.
The same guy that played him in Justice League.
Okay,
now, I will say this. The original movie Batman is going to be in that. Michael Keaton. He's playing Batman again.
Like Magic Johnson, I'm quick to pass.
All right, November 11th, Heather's birthday, as a matter of fact. Another Marvel movie, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever.
My blackness feels like I need to see it, but my common sense is like, fuck that movie. So I'm torn.
I haven't had a bad Marvel movie yet, so I'm going to go see it. Now, if your blackness doesn't work for that, you can wait until November 28th, and you can see Creed 3.
Man, he go die in the ring. So I'm over Creed. I understand it's Michael B. Jordan's time to be a director, but how many damn punches you gonna take? You gonna be punch drunk like Rocky? Stop it. Please stop after this third one. And getting back to Black Panther, if you replace Chadwick with someone else, that's gonna be tragic. Just kill the character off and start again.
From what I understand, they have no plans to replace him. So I'm trying to figure out how you're going to have a Black Panther movie with no Black Panther.
Well, you know, Common McGuire's sister becomes Black Panther, but she done got hurt on set and everything. And I gotta give it to them. They keeping everything at the tight wrap, so you really don't know.
It is going to be interesting. I will say that. Now, if we go to December now to round out the movie list, there are 2 of them in December, and they're both on December 16th. Now, we cracked on Top Gun for being way too long to make a sequel. This is another sequel that took way too long to come out. Avatar 2.
I never saw the first one because I didn't care. So definitely not gonna see the second one.
You didn't miss much. I'll just say that. And the other movie is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. So we're closing out with a DC film.
The first Aquaman was trash. The second one's gonna be just that much more. So I'll go ahead and put that in the recycle bin.
I wasn't as down on Aquaman as you are. It had some redeeming qualities. I mean,
Oh the hell it did. It was like watching Power Rangers on TV. How you go from a green screen to some bullshit ass costumes and shit? Oh boy, Jason Momoa should be pissed about that. His career went back 3 steps. That movie was so damn trash.
it wasn't that bad. I mean,
Yes, it was. I lost time out of my life. I went and saw that during the holiday too, so I paid a little extra for it, and I was extra disappointed. I fell asleep on it. It was so trash.
wow, that bad, huh?
Yes.
If you want to get in touch with some older movies or get some insight on them, make sure that you check out Rewind, Relive, and Review on my optional YouTube channel. Just to let you know, Kev, on Thursday, I'm releasing a new episode, the first one of the year on that channel, and I am doing Graffiti Bridge. And I'm going to be real honest on this. I love Prince, but wait till you hear what I have to say about this movie.
Why would you waste time out your life watching that?
I've already seen it, bro. I've seen it when it came out.
I'm talking about when it came out. Why would you waste your time watching it?
Because it was the sequel to Purple Rain. Purple Rain was good.
Purple Rain was trash.
Okay, you and I see movies very differently. Purple Rain is one of the all-time best musicals ever made.
Boy, that's a disrespect to me.
And yes, you can say that the acting was sketchy at best. These people weren't actors.
Sketchy?
I said sketchy at best.
Oh, Purple Rain is a disrespect to musicals. That shouldn't even be on off-Broadway. Purple Rain it was purple trash. The music saved the movie. That's one of those where the soundtrack was better than the movie.
The music, that's what you wanted, the performances. That's what made the movie.
No, we definitely don't see the same on that.
I mean, here's my thing, and this is how I gauge it. Name a better musical.
It's not a musical. That's the problem. You calling it what it's not. It's not a musical.
Now, a lot of people, and this is where I'm going to school you on this. They don't have to be on a stage doing West Side Story for it to be a musical. A musical is any movie that has music or performance tracks in it, such as what was the movie that came out 2 years ago with Lady Gaga, where she remade A Star Is Born? That is a musical. Even though she's not singing about her life, she's performing because she plays the part of a performer.
I never wasted time to see that. So,
but anyway, that's about what I'm going to be putting out at that time on Rewind, Relive, and Review. If you don't want to check it out, I got 90 other episodes that you can check out on the channel. It's going strong. And make sure that you subscribe to that, subscribe to this. We got a lot of good things coming in 2022. At least I hope. You know, these last 2 years, they kind of sucked. So we need this year to be good. We really do. So speaking of musicals, let's talk music for a second. Did you have an album that you wanted to review for us today?
You sound old as hell saying an album. I just want you to know that you sound kind of old.
I'm sorry, kids. I mean, that's what it is. An album is a collection of music, whether you stream it by a CD or old school records.
And you don't get your Encyclopedia Britannica ass about here being with the technical definition on stuff.
Bro, I can't help it if I'm educated. If you're a fan out there and you listening to the show, get your education. You need to know that. We dropping big words on this show.
Because you want in black households, your parents had encyclopedias on display like it was a crown jewel.
I can't confirm or deny that, but
yeah, that means you did. My grandparents had a set of white ones that was in this glass case, and I was like,
okay, since you had the white ones in the glass case, I'm willing to bet your grandparents had plastic on the couch too.
No.
Okay.
Nah, I think we was all like maybe 8, 10, somewhere in there. My grandmother got them. I'm looking like, and it was like a big deal. I'm like, it's fucking encyclopedias. Never understood why that was such a big thing.
Uh,
Glad that doesn't exist.
remember, that was before the internet. Now, if you need some information, it's right at your fingertips. This is for people that like to read. You can go down the road, you can go down the rabbit hole to the encyclopedia, and it's all there for you. Anything that you want to learn about.
Can you imagine how outdated the encyclopedia is right now?
Well, that's where the internet, took over. Now that you can get information at the drop of a dime, if they made an encyclopedia right now, it would be obsolete 10 minutes later because there's
Yeah.
always something new.
Somebody need to make up a digital one where it just constantly uploads.
You never know, there might be one.
Yeah, it's called a tablet.
Well, it's called the World Wide Web, but yeah.
Music wise, only thing is it's dead, but if you're a hip hop fan, Nas put out Magic, solid. Him and Hit Boy seem to be locked in. They doing good production together. From King's Disease 1 and 2 to Magic and King Disease 3 coming out this year, I would just say grab that if you want some solid production, good bars. Just it's a good all around. They got a good catalog together with each other. You won't be disappointed. But as if you're a true hip hop, historian, hip hop head. But if you someone that just like rap, just go to Spotify. Because it really isn't, there's no sing-songy type shit out there. Then I don't listen to a lot of new shit unless I'm DJing. So I couldn't even recommend any of them because I don't waste time out of my life.
So what's your favorite track off the album?
Really ain't one. I just put it in and let it ride. I don't have to skip anything. It's 9 songs and you can just let it ride. There's not really one better than the other. It's just a real solid project. Just like Rick Ross's last CD, Richer Than Ever Been. He's trying to show his verbal capabilities. So it's no party records, but it's a solid effort. It goes nice into the collection, but it doesn't have a high replay value compared to his old work.
All right, so we'll have to check that out. So tell me then, where would you rank this Nas album against all the other ones?
I mean, it's not nothing earth shattering to where it needs to be like up in his top 5 or anything. It's just a good project. It's a good solid project. Considering that's his second one this year, that don't happen too often anymore. He's kind of been releasing stuff every 6, 7 months, and that's something he's never done. So, and you gotta have the common sense. Know a lot of this stuff is just stuff that on the cutting room floor that didn't make this, so we gonna throw it on this. And further, like he's trying to get out of his record deal, but I forgot he's independent now, so he's literally just flooding the gates with music to remind people. Everybody screaming Jay-Z, Jay-Z, Jay-Z. I'm just as good, if not better. So like this is nothing but solidifying his hip hop legacy is how I see it. Because the knock on him was always his beats is trash. He's with the wrong producers. Because he was like a person that he would give Joe Blow off the street a chance. Where everybody else want to keep that rep up high and want to only certain ones they want to work with because they're a certain caliber. He wasn't about that. He was like, whoever want to work with, I'm gonna work with. And I respect that. But sometimes some of these producers will get you and grab you and be like, hey, I got this idea and I want you to try it, then y'all can sing together. It's like Timberlake and Timberland. Just Timberlake, no, he can't do shit without Timberland. If he does, it's gonna be trash 9 times out of 10. Just like I hate to admit it, when the Ozzy Brothers did that,
now, in fairness to Justin Timberlake, his first album was cold too, though.
Timberland produced the first album.
The very first album?
Yes.
Okay, because that one didn't sound like Timberlake.
Timberland did a track or 2 on the first one. Then from that moment on, he exclusively went to Timberland because his bigger singles, Timberland produced.
Okay, so I stand corrected then.
You said what?
I stand corrected then.
It looks like he has to know he can't work with anybody else to get that success. Just like when Ozzy Brothers did that last CD without R. Kelly, it was cool. JD did a good job. R. Kelly did one track on it, but it wasn't touching those 3, 4 that they did with Kells prior. He knew how to write. Ones like Charlie Wilson. First CD, Uncle Charlie, last name Wilson, was dope. He left Kells after that, and everything else. Okay, you got a couple songs. It's like people got to get out they pride out of their way, and if it works here, stay in that pocket. Quit trying to experiment because you want a different sound. Then you get mad when it's not received properly.
I can understand both sides of it though, because a lot of these artists, it ain't because they're mad. They want to do something different so that they don't get pigeonholed as doing the same old thing, because that will lose your fan base faster than anything.
Core fans will still support you and buy, but I don't know, maybe just me. If I can get something consistent and I know I'm gonna have platinum or gold success, I'm gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, if your catalog is strong, you're gonna be able to tour regardless.
That's true. It's time for the asshole of the week. I don't know about you, but my asshole is an entire company this week. The National Football League. Me and the National Football League have a love-hate relationship. And I guess I could point this in the direction of Roger Goodell himself. My man Deshaun Jackson on Sunday came out on the field in Indianapolis sporting his tribute to John Madden. John Madden on his cleats. And he was like, I'm gonna wear these with pride in honor of Coach. The officials had to step up to him right before the game and said, hey, you either need to take those off or you will be ejected from the game. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is the same company that just 2 weeks ago had, quote unquote, my cause, my cleats.
You just answered your own question. That was scheduled. That was pre-planned.
Well, unfortunately, you can't pre-plan somebody's death. And
no, you can't, but you have to go through certain chain of command to get approved. NFL has a strict policy on how you are to be dressed. Like if your socks are down, you get a fine for that. They have people to literally watch the players to see what they got on and what's going on, see if they're going to get a fine.
But there you go. Hell, why couldn't they fine him?
The rules they got set.
Why couldn't they fine him instead?
Simple fact is, this is what you probably don't realize. Christmas Day, I forgot what player it was for Green Bay, had some Grinch cleats. He came out beforehand, worked out in them, didn't wear them during the game. A lot of players will wear certain cleats during warm-up.
That's because they get tapped on the shoulder.
No, it's not that they don't get tapped. They know they can't wear those. They just do them for IG and shit like that to get that notoriety with it, which is stupid. But if you give somebody free shit, I'll take it too and do it or whatever. As far as him doing the John Madden thing, was it a little extra to be like, we go eject you or whatever? I personally don't think it was that deep by the league. I think it probably would have been a fine. I just think that was more or less them officials trying to show their power, more or less, because you want to control the narrative of what's going on. And at the same time, they're selling John Madden as the NFL, not Oakland. Because you see, every team had a JM on the helmet. Every team did a moment of silence. They're selling him as the NFL, not Oakland's head coach. Because I guarantee outside of Raider fans and true NFL fans, people only know him for commentating and the video game.
Exactly.
Very few know that he coached the Raiders. And the NFL, made a little disrespect to y'all, but a selling tip for them is John Madden was one of our guys. He was us.
Yeah, and the other reason why I give the a-hole of the month, of the week to the NFL is because the way they do the Raiders. Why is it that they drop COVID policy and change it to half the amount of time just in time for us to play the Colts. We can't keep them out of the playoffs. We'll do it this way. We're going to make sure COVID's now 5 days instead of 10. That way Carson Wentz can play.
You got some cheese to go with that one? Because you know the NBA did at the same time. So that wasn't the NFL thing. That was all the leagues as a whole.
But the NFL followed suit. They didn't have to. They could have waited. They could have said starting next year. You
Okay,
don't do
so
something. You don't do something for 16 weeks and then say in week 17 we're going to change it.
Here's where you got to stop being.
NBA had that policy already that they knew they were going to change it.
Again, here's where you got to stop being closed-minded and open your mind. All these leagues have been following suit with each other. None of them have been original. They all are following each other. So when one does it, the other's going to do it regardless of the timing. Because when my team had 13 people on the list, our game should have got rescheduled to Tuesday. Did it? Hell no. And we got all of 2 players back before that game. Thankfully, we won, but you can't fault them for that when they're following suit. That's no different than these fucking governments or whatever. They're following suit of each other. My last job was following suit of the government with the COVID protocols. The minute that New York filed a lawsuit against that and the government was like, okay, we got to hold off, then my job. But when they let people go, states, oh, well, we're going to freeze on this COVID protocol until we see what happens in New York with this court situation. So you can't fault them for following suit. Did it try almost burn your team? Yeah, it almost burnt mine. That's today's fucking world.
That's my thing though. You don't practice and prepare for one person, and then 2 days before that, we're gonna bring Carson Wentz back. He meets the protocol standard.
Oh my God.
Our whole game plan. No, let me finish. They could have said, hey, starting next week. If they would have said starting next week, it would have been fair. You don't wait until 2 days before game day to change a policy. You don't do that. The NBA didn't wait till 2 days before game day. They specifically said on such and such a date, we will start this new policy. The NFL didn't do that.
They don't have to. The NBA didn't do that. Everything was effective immediately. So you have to deal with that. Things change all the time. Our game Sunday, the NFL before the game, the day of, made 4 referee changes. And he didn't know until the game started. And
are you saying that that was fair?
I'm not saying it was, but that's what they chose to do. You got to roll with it. That's no different than a player being on the injury list, because Bill Belichick does this all the time. They don't get removed until the day of. But like you said, you've been practicing for this other player. That's all a part of the game. It's no different than when you're trying to kick a game-winning field goal. What does every coach do? Timeout, timeout, timeout. That shouldn't happen, but it does. You're a professional athlete.
That's legal, though.
You have to be prepared for whatever comes your way. If you don't, take your ball and go home.
And by the way, I'm not whining because everything the NFL's done to us this year, what do? We come back with a win. So we'll keep on getting these W's. So I'm not whining about it.
Y'all do. You probably won't Sunday.
Hey, we scheduled our game this Sunday night. Guess what? We'll get over it. We'll do what we need to do. I'll get into the playoff scenarios later.
They literally did the smart thing and put y'all prime time because both y'all need that win for the playoffs.
Now, I'm not saying that was bad. I'm just saying that was a change.
You just said it was like it's a negative thing. It wasn't negative about it. Hell, they took us from Sunday to Saturday because our game don't mean shit. We in. We're playing to see if
okay. When I get, I'm gonna get to the playoffs then real quick. I'm gonna skip this first one and go to the playoffs because you need to understand you're not locked in. You can actually move up or down depending on how your game goes.
But if the Texans going to beat the Titans,
they could.
They beat the Chargers.
They beat the Chargers.
I'm gonna need you to do better than that. Because Hibbert is not.
No. I am doing better than that. Listen to me carefully. You understand as best as I do this year. Any given Sunday, we've had so many teams win games that they should not have this year because it's so evenly matched across the board.
So you're saying the Texans are evenly matched with the Titans? Name the Texans quarterback.
I can't, but you know.
Exactly.
Name the Titans running back.
Dude's name was like Johnson or some shit or whatever.
Exactly. See my point? I mean, you know.
The thing is, the Titans are the better team matchup per matchup.
And I'm not saying they're not, but I'm not saying that Houston can't beat them, especially isn't that
I'm
a
gonna say they can't. They don't stand a chance at all.
division rivalries though, man?
They
Anything
don't
can
stand
happen.
a chance at all. If they had what's his damn name? Busted lung. He should have sued the fucking Chargers. If they had him at quarterback, I would give him a chance. But you going against I say B-level defense with this Penn Valley quarterback, it's doomed for failure.
All right. Well,
And the
let's
Titans,
just say they pull
pushing
off
it
the
so
miracle ball
hard.
miracles though, and the Titans lose.
They're not on 34th Street. No miracle's gonna happen.
But if they lose and Kansas City wins, Kansas City's back in that #1 spot.
That I know. But this is where you gotta be truthful and be a reality of the situation. The NFL's already let it be known they want Mahomes on the road so they can make money off Mahomes. Because all you've been hearing for the past month, he's never played a playoff game on the road. He's never played a playoff game on the road. Games we were supposed to lose, we done won. We get to the Bengals, they change the refs, and these refs miss blatant calls to where I think it was whatever channel the game was on, they officially they talked to with Mike Pereira, whatever his name is, outright said they're doing a horrible job. Some of these calls should not have been made. So they want Mahomes on the road because Brady's here, Mahomes is here. You got to get your cash cow to where you want Brady to fade to the win. This the new QB face. We need everybody outside of Kansas City in Tennessee or in San Diego, LA or whatever to know this space so we can sell that much more jerseys, that much more Mahomes apparel. We're trying to get him to where he keeps the cash cow going because when Rodgers leaves, Brady leaves, we know Ben's leaving. We got to have our next tier of quarterbacks. We think he's going to be the one. We thought it was Hibbert. He ain't did nothing. We gave him praise. He lost the shootout. Now we're going, Joe Burrow's the greatest quarterback ever, but he's only had 2-3 weeks of solid games. So we can't push Burrow. Carson Wentz, he's doing decent, but he faltered against y'all. Matthew Stafford, he about to kill it with the Rams. He threw that game away Sunday. They got lucky and won that game. If Odell didn't have them stick 'em gloves on, that 4-down pass wouldn't have been caught. Rams would have lost that game. So we gotta
now sticking with the playoffs though. That's all the more reason why Kansas City should win. If they lose and the Bengals win, guess who the #2 seed is now all of a sudden? Because they beat Kansas City last week in a game that they know they had no business
missing
winning.
the obvious point of all this. I get all these scenarios or whatever. They mean nothing.
Why
it's
not?
all about the dollar and ticket sales.
Okay, stop talking dollars. You talking about the NFL. Forget about the money they're making. I'm talking about for me, you, and Joe Blow, the fan. We want to talk about the seedings.
That don't matter. It's
Kevin,
all about the money.
Stop talking, Kevin. I'm talking about they could play this team or they could play that team. The purpose of us talking about the playoffs right now is to talk about if Kansas City faces this team, how will they do?
If I'm talking about the reality of it all, the reality of it all is about the dollar.
Okay, it's about the dollar. Sure? Forget it then. Forget it. We won't talk about the playoffs anymore. Forget the playoffs. You're not
trying to listen. They're going to make sure.
I have listened. You keep saying the same damn thing. And I keep telling you to forget about the dollar.
They want Tennessee at #1.
I skipped Tennessee. I said I agree with you. Fine. I started talking about the Bengals. That's why I said you're not listening. I started talking about the Bengals. I'm moving down the list.
They beat us because Spags was in his fucking pride.
Okay, now you're talking about the past. It doesn't matter what happened. You lost that game, and I'm trying to say about the repercussions of it.
The repercussions don't matter because they want us on the road. If we don't get a #2 seed, we're on the road.
And listen, stop. Close your mouth, cover it for a second. Listen, you're going to be on the road whether you're the #2 seed or the #3 seed. But who you play is the difference.
Be at home.
Then why are you talking about the road? Because either way, you're going to play Tennessee in the next round. I'm talking about for the first round, you'll either be the 2 or the 3. All I'm trying to say is, who do you expect to play and why? That's where I'm going with it.
Where we play, we go beat them. We go be on the road the next round. That's the point I
Okay,
made. Whoever we
stop
play,
talking about round two. I'm just talking about round one. I'm
okay,
trying to say
round
if you're
one,
the
one.
2 seed,
That's the thing. Round one, we're either playing you or the Chargers. One of the two.
exactly, and that's where I'm going with it. It's an
And we're going to
AFC
be at
game.
home regardless.
Okay,
We're going to be home regardless on that game. Because we won the division, so it doesn't matter. We're going to be at home. We have a better
but
division
if you
record.
have to play the Chargers, don't you
I'm
think
not
that
worried
that's going to
about
be a
that.
tough game?
No, it's not. It's not going to be a tough game. Hibbert has been going down. If you pay attention, look at his numbers, he's going down.
Okay,
And their
what
run
if you
game
had
is
to
null
play?
and void.
What if you have to play the Patriots?
We got to play the Patriots. Their quarterback's not proven. If we get on his ass, he's not going to do anything.
But what about
That
the
50 points they
defense?
put up last week on the Jags was a fucking joke. It was the Jaguars.
What about the Colts?
Carson Wentz showed he's Carson Wentz last week because they should have beat y'all. When Carson needed to make a play, did he? I seen it where he's throwing it behind T.Y. Hilton. He's throwing it with his other receiver. He missed point blank shot. He missing him.
Yeah,
If you
but
gonna make it a run game, just run the fucking ball.
that's what it should have been, a
throw.
run game. And what's y'all's weakness on the defense? The run game.
Not if Chris Jones in the middle. If they go to the outside of where, which that's not JT Strong, so they got to go up the middle. Chris Jones is right there. If Bolden's back, he's right behind Chris Jones. I'm not saying it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be a good game, but we're going to prevail because if we make them put it in Carson's hand, Carson can't win the game. Only quarterback I'm worried about in the AFC, somewhat Burrow, really just Burrow because Tannehill ain't the dude. And if Derrick Henry come back, how much are you really going to run him with that broken foot? Because you and I both know that's a fragile part of your body, and he's not a little dude. He's about 260, 270. That foot, in my opinion, he shouldn't want to play this season for fear he's going to break it again. But what they saying, they get the bye week, they give him 2 weeks to heal. He coming back, he's going to re-break that shit. Only quarterback I'm so worried about is Joe Burrow because Spags is still going to play man coverage when you shouldn't. They have a legit receiving core in Cincy. We showed their defense is suspect, but they have a legit receiving core.
I'm not worried about Joe Burrow because you can put any quarterback back there as long as he throws to Jamar Chase.
Man, that's what I'm like. Spags need to get out of his way and double team. But at the same time, Tua old boy's touches, his touchdowns, you clearly saw offensive pass interference. But hey, we can't get those calls because we're not respected like that. And unfortunately, in the eyes of today's NFL, since he has a better legacy than us, which is ass backwards, because Boomer Esiason trashed us. I forgot what I was watching.
Who said since he has a better legacy than y'all?
The perception that they're giving. And if you could, was it NFL? It's not an NFL thing.
I don't get that perspective, even though they did win the game.
That's because you know the game. But like I said, a lot of shit isn't for us. And I just laughed because Boomer was going in. I was like, he talking like, is he even in the Hall of Fame? Was he great? I'm like, since he tossed you out like old trash when they was done with you. But he up there campaigning. It's funny to me. But it's like, I get it. You trying to, because this is what the NBA is going through right now. All your vets, your names are leaving. Who do you have left? The NFL is going through that same thing. We need to get started. What did the commentator say in our game? Well, I think it was Romo or Nash or whatever. Oh my God, this is going to be the best tandem for the future. The league's not ready for this. They just had a big game. And I think it was on Fox Sports. I forgot who it was. And dude was like, every week it's been a different receiver for Cincy. It ain't just been Chase, while everybody's screaming Chase, Chase, Chase. Dude was like, yeah, Chase is broken Jefferson's record from last year as a rookie. It was like, but this was his first big game. He's gotten consistent 70, 80-yard games, but this was his first big one at the end of the season. And I was like, but they don't want to hear that, though. So it's just, the league's going through a transition. I'm thankful we got a franchise quarterback. Y'all got one if y'all bring him back. And it's just like they don't like the names they got. And college football right now is so dead with talent to where they're trying to let's resell these players that we got.
Yeah,
Because the
there's
way they
nothing coming
focus,
out of college this year. That's
yeah,
garbage.
listen, college for all for realness is probably dead the next year or two, if not the next three, because there's no standout players. All this portal transfer going on or whatever, trying to get hot. Like the quarterback for MU is leaving. What have you done to where you need to go somewhere else and where you think you go be hot?
Where is he transferring to?
He hasn't said he's in the portal saying he's gonna go somewhere. And I'm just like, bro, you didn't have that good of a season to be transferring like that. But now they allow it. Now, I got a question for you because it was on I forgot what I was watching. It said in 2 years, if Florida State comes knocking, does Deion leave Jackson State?
Florida or Florida State?
Florida State. One of the commentators like he ain't leaving until his sons graduate. Other guy was like, man, he gone. Why would you pass up your alma mater for Jackson State? And mind you, it was a black man saying that. And I was like, damn, bro, you kind of. And so, and the other guy was like,
I'm in agreement with you. He's gone. I mean, that's the whole point, is to move up.
my thing is, if he's gone, then everything he's done was a joke.
No, because the whole point in a job, or should be for anybody who has any job, whether you're a ditch digger or whether you're the CEO of a company, the whole point is to leave it better than you found it. And you have to admit it is much better than the way it has been.
Agreed. I agree. But following him on IG and different stuff, he's selling it like he's here to fix the black colleges. He's here to pull the layer back for a white American, everyone to see, hey, you can come here with talent and be successful. So if he leaves at a 5-year mark, it's a waste of time, and you ain't helped nothing.
It depends on how many championships he gets out of it too. If he's at the point where I've done all I can do, this is the blueprint, why not move up?
I'll say this. He's probably a key winning SWAC championships as equivalent winning the NIT, probably in a lot of people's eyes. When he gets to where he can get Jackson State in at least a top 10 major bowl, then yeah, you can leave at the 5-year mark if you've done that. But if you keep playing in the Muffler Bowl or whatever that shit was they played in, bowl I've never heard of, you ain't did nothing.
And when you think about it, 90% of these bowls are bowls we never heard of.
Man, they need to get rid of them and go back to how it was. Where it was like, what, 3 or 4 major bowls and that was it? They need to go back to that.
They won't do that though.
Yeah,
It's
they want
money.
that money. Now, the one thing I do give him is he did say he refused to play bigger schools just to get a $750 check, $750,000 check. He was like, because all you're doing is beating down the morale of your team. But I would say, I agree, but at the same time, I'm just like, but you got to know how good you are with you play the better talent. If you don't play the better talent, how you know if you're good or not?
I agree with that too.
Yeah, I don't know. So I would hate him to leave. I would say at least stay 7 years. By then, your program should be up and running. It's going to be what it's going to be, and everything should be copacetic. If you leave before 7 years, whatever you really implement.
I would say 5 is good though, depending on what you do with that 5.
Aspect, and because like right now, you still playing off the players the other coach had. You know, it's kind of like when you're a president. You know, your first 2 to 3 years ago be trash because you either fixing or adding on to what the previous president did. It's kind of like the same way in coaching.
Yeah, and that's why I say 5 is good, because 5, you working with your freshmen on up to their senior year. Everybody that was there should be out.
It's gonna be interesting to see, but I just hate knowing that you got to know he's on the radar for Florida State, and you just got to wonder when they go want to have him there.
Look at
Because
Jim
apparently
Harbaugh.
they're highly upset, and like he was on, was it he was on the Keyshawn J and what's Matt Keller. He was on a show, and he was like, I didn't do nothing wrong. He said I did for Jackson State what I've done for Florida State many a times. I called, met the parents, talked to them. It's just this time, instead of saying how good Florida State is, I let the guy know how Jackson State is. He said, the thing is, this dude likes to fish. His mom's in the church. Those are me. Those are things I do. He said, so they instantly related to me, and he decided to make it switch. But it was like Florida State damn near done. I don't want to say they banned Deion from campus, but a lot of his jerseys done caught fire, shall we say?
Damn.
Yeah, they literally treated his stuff like he was Antichrist, to where there was, and I'm talking like not one bonfire. There were several bonfires of Florida State Deion Sanders apparel. Right, I find the shit funny. I'm like, all he did was waste your money.
I'm gonna say this, and it's because Jim Harbaugh did not go to Michigan. But here he is, the coach of Michigan. So he passed on several opportunities, left the NFL even, and it wasn't even his alma mater, but it's a big time school. And that's what I think will sway Deion.
All this time, I thought Jim Harbaugh went to Michigan.
That's what I'm looking up right now here.
I thought he went back home. Damn, he didn't go to Michigan.
Jim Harbaugh.
Maybe I got him and Tom Brady confused.
Tom Brady, what?
Said maybe I got him and Tom Brady confused.
Yeah, Tom Brady went to Michigan.
Damn, so where did Harbaugh go to college at?
Oh, wait, maybe he did go to Michigan. Yeah, he did, but it was from 83 to 86. Who did he play behind him? Because I know he didn't start.
Who did he play behind?
Yeah, so
because every quarterback I'm thinking of,
so
they
he
was
did go to
after
Michigan.
Harbaugh.
Oh, he was a Heisman Trophy finalist.
Was
finished
he?
third in 87. See, I'd never heard of him until he got selected by the Bears.
Really, really, you got to drink out that cup. Really?
Oh, dang. Yeah.
Oh, you ain't. Some people ain't shit, America. Some people ain't shit.
Okay, so he played 14 years. I didn't even know he was here that long. I just
know
really
he had a
remember
good
him from the
run.
Indianapolis years.
He had a good run with the Colts. He was serviceable with Chicago, but he was stuck under that McMahon light in Chicago, so he was doomed to fail regardless.
The Ravens, and then finished with the Chargers.
I forgot he played for the Chargers. The Rams, do they even count because they move around so much?
Yeah, now the thing about the Chargers is, I believe he was the starting quarterback for like a handful of games and got hurt. And that's when Drew Brees took over.
You know what? I was about to say Phillip Rivers. I forgot Drew Brees was there. But Drew Brees, his last year looked like the Drew Brees that New Orleans got.
Yeah. Because I believe that Phillip Rivers was drafted later on. And that's when Marty took over. And Marty wanted Drew Brees to continue to start. And he had that butting ahead, shall we say, with the GM for the Chargers who wanted Phillip Rivers to start. And that's and because of that shoulder injury, they traded him to New Orleans because they thought he wasn't going to play no more.
That was a out.
Shows you the history of the Chargers right there.
Yeah.
Because remember, they also had Eli.
No, remember he said he wasn't coming. That's how that trade
That was
ended.
that even up trade for Rivers.
He had his daddy in there was like, he ain't coming. That's not learned that some lineage can just dictate things.
True.
That's why I can't wait to see what Cooper's son does. Because from what I've seen and been reading, he's supposed to be better than Peyton and Eli.
Unfortunately, he could end up like Cooper and tear the knees up before he gets a chance to show what he can do in the pros.
That was cold-blooded. That was cold-blooded.
I'm just saying.
I don't think Cooper would have been a beast, but yeah, you never know.
Well, you got to realize how old he is too in that era. I don't think he would have been passing as much.
Now Cooper played like receiver.
Doesn't matter. The quarterback that he had wouldn't have been passing as much.
The
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Because he played with Peyton in high school, and Peyton was lighting it up when it was like it was a Montana Jerry Rice connection from what I saw on that 30 for 30.
It would have been fun to see.
Because the way it has, he was supposed to go to Tennessee, and then Peyton was following him to Tennessee, and they was going to continue what they was doing. And I was like, looking at Peyton, you knew he was NFL bound. His brother being in that position, not being wrong, being a white dude, you don't know if he gonna be Steve Largent or if he gonna be Don Beebe. You like that, didn't you? You like that one?
That was pretty good. I can laugh because our leading receiver is a little white guy and he's very quick. Hunter
I
Renfrow.
give him credit because he's been in that lane of the Isaac Bruce, Torrey Hope, to where he takes these 7-6 yard slants, and you don't catch him, you know, he's gone. You know, just like Welker and all them, he's in that school of receiver.
And I'll say this. The only reason why we only beat Indianapolis by 3 was because they called his touchdown back.
Yeah.
Where they said dude's finger touched him when he was down.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it didn't happen, but
I will say this all season, the NFL really needs to put their officials through a training camp training, because a lot of games have been affected by bad calls that shouldn't have happened.
That, and I'm seeing a lot of games where the line of scrimmage, not the line of scrimmage, the line to game is questionable. I'll see somebody get stopped at the 20 and the ref runs out to the 19. And I'm like, I didn't see that.
That's all they need to have somebody in the booth that watches that to be like radio down, hey, no, that's not right. Because in our game, who did we play before the Bengals? Where they tried to give dude the first down, and like he really was here, but they put the ball right there, and the commentary was like, that ain't right. So they actually had to do a review, and I'm like, how did they not see that he was here versus there?
We'll see. What happens is they're even with the runner, but it seems like when they run out, they kind of run a little wide, and then they put the ball down. And I'm like, what?
I'm like, you got a guy in the back of the field, in the front, and you got, it's like, you're not playing, it reminds me of the girls' soccer. Some of these officials get lazy to where like this the midline, they'll walk to about right here, and they can see the whole field. Then when they blow the whistle, I'm like, how do you know what happened? You're not over there.
And that's the other thing where these refs need training. I will see a ref literally stand square with a penalty, but I'll see the flag come in from somewhere else. It's like, he saw it. What you mean you didn't see it?
Yeah. That's the biggest eyesore of the whole thing. There's no way I'm on the play, but somebody 10 yards away is throwing the flag and running, and you're holding your whistle like, what happened? Are you
they
not
got a conference about it.
They really need to treat it like a factory, a car factory, or like the post office. You need to go through with that knife and get rid of all these old motherfuckers and bring in the youth, because you'll get a better product. Like they need to start putting up some of these officials from college that they ready to move up, and like all these old ones, it's time to let them retire. Or
Yeah, because the league has had so many rule changes that I literally believe that they go blank during some plays. Was that a penalty? Was it not? They really need to define what is pass interference and what is not. I'll see guys get tugged on one play, get a flag, get tugged on another play, and they're like, oh, it's incidental contact.
Yeah, because that Cincy game, Ward Chuck chase, you know, it was in goal lines, within 5. I could do that. They called holding and passing. I was like, how? He did what he was allowed to do. It's like some of the rules they need to take back. Cause I think the rule book is getting too big, and you can't remember all that shit. Let's be honest. You can't remember everything. No. And it's like they need to downsize and make stuff a little bit more simpler, because it's getting too complicated, too convoluted, to where it's killing the product of the game.
Yeah, and then there's holding on every play, whether people realize that or not. So they just pick and choose spots to say offensive holding.
I think between the offensive line and defensive line, we just need not to call it. Because like I said, it's every play.
Well, I would say if it's blatant.
If you get taken to the ground or you getting whipped, then yeah, call it. But if it's a typical, like that, why are we calling that?
Exactly. I agree.
You get games that got ruined on that dumbass call. Or like, I don't like the neutral zone infraction. We supposed to line as close as we can. If my hand is lined up with the football, why does that matter? I'm not knocking the ball down. I'm just getting in my stance.
Well, like they say that is because that gives you an unfair advantage. You're that much closer to getting in.
Which is ass backwards. Unless that motherfucker about to just stay in that stance and move out the way, I don't see it.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. Real quick. So what's Will Smith's daughter's name? Willow?
Uh-huh.
I guess she was interviewed. Let me see what they called it here. They were talking to her about mom and dad talking publicly about everything. And she said that she didn't mind Will and Jada oversharing. So I want to ask you, at what point is it oversharing, and should people do that? I already say no, but that's just me.
Well, see, you got to look at it from a business aspect. The big thing has been, what about them? What about them? What about them? What about them? So you get red table talk. Everybody mama tunes in on Facebook Live. It becomes a hit. They like 3-4 seasons in, to where now you're starting to see other people get Facebook Live talk shows on the same premise. She used that to benefit self. Then what happened? Hey, Will, your last movie or two has been good, but you ain't got that buzz. Come on. He comes on, does this thing. They talk about all this, entanglements and stuff or whatever. Then what does Will do? Let me go and get on social media, get an IG account. Instantly was like 70 million followers or whatever, a stupid amount of followers instantly. And what does Will do next? Hey, I'm about to do this documentary on why I'm fat and I need to lose weight before I start doing this Williams movie. I even watched. I told you to watch it. YouTube show got serious amount of views. Then what does he do next? Hey, I'm about to go discover the world, go to places people can't go to that don't have money. You broke bitches. Oh, natural challenge. You want to do it with me? Let's get Disney Plus with this or whatever. I've watched. People have watched it. So then, you know what? Y'all ain't got enough. Let's do this tell-all book. I'm gonna give you some real Dalai Lama type stuff. But then I'm gonna tell you how I was slutting people and I was throwing up when I was coming. This is gonna give it you all mixed in one, because you're gonna talk about it, and then at some point, they're doing too much. It's just too much. I don't want to hear anything else. And what happens? Utter silence. they got what they wanted while they made money off of it. Because you ain't had no question, no nothing.
Yeah.
Then you got to ask the daughter, which she don't care. She's a rich kid. She's supposed to have a music career and they never put out no music, touring and shit. How was that even possible?
Money.
You know, and then the other one, he should be getting the attention because he's trying to save the water in Flint. But he gets all of that much attention.
Full disclosure, I'm still mad about how that book is presented to his close friends.
Well,
I just got a regular old copy at Walmart, but
I wouldn't say it's his close friends, but it's media types that are gonna put it out there. And everyone that I know that got it did a video on IG. Can you believe this book? Turn the key. Oh my God, this is how you do a book presentation. You ain't seen nobody else even. Everybody else will be like, hey, here's your book. I autographed it. Because he took it so next level. He showed them how much of a boss he is.
Yeah, because if I do the review, so here's my Walmart bag. Can you believe it? Let me open the bag. Here's the book.
And what I will say, going back to earlier in the show about John Wick, they were smart not to put the movie out this year because everybody's putting Keanu, you bring back the Major. Oh, I can't believe you came back. And what happened? It got leaked out. Well, Will was supposed to do that and he turned it down. What happened behind that? I wonder how it would have been if Will would have been in the movie. So you don't want that association to go to, oh man, how would Will would have been if he'd have been in John Wick? You know, people just gonna start doing that because they're gonna start comparing the two. And let's be honest, Will probably have been a badass in John Wick, kind of how Denzel was in The Equalizer.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, so if I'm the people with John Wick and I know my franchise is knocking out the ballpark, I don't want anything to mess with that. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it back and be like, I got this unnecessary Quentin Tarantino killer ass movie, but you somehow people will relate to it and want to see it. And you got this major one that people have apparently been thirsting for. Let's go ahead and separate the two to where we got enough time to where people will forget about it. Then we'll hit them with John Wick, probably first of 2023, and it'll be out the ballpark again.
I can see that. I mean, I also look at it from the other side. How many people want to see John Wick today compared to January of 2023?
I'll still be high demand because the gift and the curse of Fast and Furious, they show studios a franchise can be profitable. Gift and the curse to Marvel, they've showed a franchise can be popular and make money. That's where DC is lacking. DC has yet to cross that threshold of popular and money maker. It's been either or like the Batman series has knocked it out. Wonder Woman, I felt bad for her. That last one may have been good. I don't know. Pandemic killed that. They shouldn't have released it until things kind of got better.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Yeah, my daughter wanted to see it. Then she was like, oh, never mind. I was like, thank you, Jesus. Unless she's in an invisible plane, I don't want to see it either.
Now they are really hyping up this Black Adam. By the way, she was in the invisible plane, but
damn,
it didn't make the movie. Trust me.
Oh, okay. Black Adam will be decent because of The Rock, because it's like a passion product for him. You just gotta wonder what the staying power will be of
it. It depends, because next year they're supposed to come out with the Shazam sequel, and eventually they're gonna fly. But you've also got The Rock over in his corner saying he wants Henry Cavill to come back because he wants to fight Superman. So it's like, the more he says that, and the more DC keeps getting in their own way and they won't bring Cavill back, when they do have that Shazam sequel, people are going to be like, oh, I wanted to see Superman instead, because they've got it ingrained in their head because The Rock is there.
I want Henry back too. He was probably the best one out of all of them.
I agree.
I don't know, probably could have did it better would have been me, but I don't like Superman like that.
Yeah, and you can't be a black Superman allegedly unless you're What's his name?
Well, they wouldn't let me play above the law when I'm flying. They saw Black Superman, so I really couldn't do it.
Well, Hollywood takes all these remakes. We can remake King of New York if you want.
Maybe King of Kansas City, maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna be whooping all the Gates ass, taking his barbecues or something. Make it a little relevant. A damn dog is pacing for some reason, like somebody about to kick in the door or something. Pets are strange.
Yeah, they do that. I know. My cat is off the chain. All right,
So,
before we go, you got anything else drop before we talk about this last thing?
no. What's the last thing we're talking about?
I Am Athlete.
Oh, okay.
Our
Or they
formal-
refer to it on the pivot IAA.
Yeah, you broke my heart when you gave me the news today. You brought me down. I was here.
Mm-hmm.
That put me here.
Well,
I thought you were joking. I really
well, it was in jest, but the I Am Athlete that we know that we fell in love with, it's no more. And like I said, Channing, what's Channing's last name? I forgot his fucking name. Channing, Crowder, okay. Channing, Fred, and Ryan Clark created the pivot. So Channing and Fred talked about it. They said and Ryan was kind of being a little extra talking about how it was a cultural thing. Not so much. It was good. It was good to hear players talk about player shit, but I don't think it may have been cultural in the sports world. Maybe I'm just blind on when things are cultural. I think we too quick to give some big praise when it wasn't. It was big, but it wasn't that big.
Let's face it,
So
it was cultural until they started talking about NASCAR.
I'm gonna get to that. So Fred was like, the thing was, they all friends, and it was like they was doing it to get out the house, to do something different. So you get all this money, you still need a bullshit reason to get out the house. I feel like I don't want to be rich. I really do, but I feel like I don't want to be on some ignorant shit like that. So they was thinking, okay, the show's getting momentum. Reggie Wayne, he's gone, bring in Ocho. Then that was the news. It worked. Everybody loves different guests. Everything was like sports wise, football. That was a primary thing. We in this location, we rent out a house that we filming in. We doing everything's good. Got Chef Nance, everything going good. Then money started coming in. What it boils down to. And all right, let's do I Am Athlete West Coast. Let's do I Am Athlete Woman. Let's do I Am Athlete NASCAR. So it's one of the things to where you had a good product. It's like McDonald's. You got the chicken sandwich, but now you can do A, B, C, or D for the type of chicken sandwich you want. They wasn't feeling that. They thought this is what we go do. This is what because like you trying to do a I Am Athlete night to where it's supposed to be raw and uncut discussion about stuff not so PC. And Mike Vick's on that. And some chick from TikTok fame, there was a baller, but she like Cheryl Miller. It wasn't, well, no, she was in WNBA for a little bit, but she was mainly big overseas. And now she's on TikTok and doing trick shots and everything. And she about to be a commentator for, I think, WNBA or something. And so they were just like, we thought we was going this way. He went that way. They was like, we love B. Mars because this was so crazy. So where they let it be known, it wasn't them and it was Brandon Marshall. Shannon started the episode FaceTiming Ocho. I was like, that's dirty as fuck, but well played. Because everybody's gonna be like, got Fred, got Channing talking to Ocho, and Ocho says, oh yeah, once the baby born and everything, me and the baby coming on the show, we gonna have a good time. You ain't gotta worry about it. Oh, really? What about B. Marsh? Crickets. Cause like last week on the I Am Athlete episode, he talking about him and Jay Cutler, how they ain't cool no more, and he don't have this number. I'm like, so this thing got a history of just fucking shit up. But basically, when it came down to doing contracts, trying to get stuff on the same page, they said they had meetings and everything. They couldn't see eye to eye on what it's supposed to be. So that lets me know Brandon pulled the trump card. This is mine. It goes to what I started over here in this this workout facility, like they building a facility in Miami or whatever, building one in Houston. This is mine. This podcast is mine. I'm R. Kelly. Y'all the public announcement.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And the thing with Ocho, he don't care. He gonna make his bread because he makes more money doing the video games and stuff. So he really ain't tripping. He gonna be on for the ride because that's just Ocho.
And Ocho got his own thing too.
Yeah, but and like you said, he was like, when he was talking to Channing, he was like, I have 365 good days. So I may have one or two bad, but it's not enough for me not to have fun. So Ocho was probably like, hey, Brandon, whatever you do, I'm down. Exit stage left. But Fred and Channing, like, this our name, you know, this what we thinking. They couldn't come to the same page. And I think that's why it took so long for them to start this. I think they was under a contract and they had to wait till that contract expired. Because Channing was on a couple of the NASCAR ones. Then quick as you saw him, he faded out. So I think they had to wait till that contract expired. And then, okay, we're going to do this now. Because Ryan Clark was like, when I got the call, I was like, hell yeah, I want to do this. Remember I told you, Ryan Clark had to come back on there again because that episode was so good. Didn't know that he was in the wing waiting to see what was going to happen. And They all said, it was like, we talking sports in our lives, which that's what we liked about it. So they not trying to do all this other type stuff that he's doing. Because then he said he about to do another I Am Athlete, something else. I'm like, you're literally the equivalent of somebody got iced tea, they got too much sugar, and they just keep adding water to dilute it. He's diluting his product and he doesn't realize it. Because he's getting so much attention there. Because like I told you, he wants to be that broadcaster. Okay, you made your lane, you created your lane, let it grow slowly. You ain't got to press the gas to, you ain't got to go 0 to 100 in 5 seconds.
Yeah, because doesn't he have the clothing line too?
Yeah, that's tied into the facility. Yeah, has a House of Athlete. And like the women's show, I watch it, I like it. Mainly because I like his wife, she need to call me. That's a whole nother episode. But it's, even with that, they starting to have people, and I'm like, why is this person, that person on there or whatever? So it's just like, I get it, but you definitely messed up a gem that couldn't nobody touch. Because Channing and Fred, I don't think you can replace them with anybody else. I really don't want to hear what Mike Vick got to say. Mike Vick don't have much to say. Mike Vick's too stupid to talk. He just needs to, they got him on TV and stuff, and I'm just like, Mike, just stop talking. Just stop talking. You're killing your legacy every time you open your mouth. Then like these other athletes he done had on there, I'm like, this motherfucker played football. Who the fuck is this? So it's like they got theirs called The Pivot. I don't know if it's gonna be every Monday or what, but what I will give him credit for, it was like it's all love, no issues. B Marsh reposted the trailer and was like, much love to them or whatever. And Fred commented, then why don't you follow me back on IG if it's all love? I was like, damn, but Fred old school. He ain't go bite his tongue.
That's true. I'm gonna miss the last incarnation of I Am Athlete because the original is always the best in most things.
Yeah, and I'll admit I haven't watched much consistently from beginning to end of this new iteration. And I think he wanted to control, and you can't control Channing. I think me and Channing are the same group where you just don't know what we're gonna say sometimes. You can't control it. And I think he wanted to, the sponsors and stuff, he wanted to pull that in to kind of, because like Channing was talking to Ryan, talking about you be beating it up with your wife. He goes, you be doing like that. Well, I was like, did he really just say that? But that's him.
Yeah.
Because he said, this moment said, pure as day. I love when my wife has a gay friend because he ain't trying to do it to my wife. So anybody else, I got to worry about them trying to do it to her. And I was like, that's real as hell. But God damn it, you didn't have to put it out there like that. He said, if he want to go play with little boys and not my wife, I was like, oh, he said little boys. But I don't think Brandon wants to keep dealing with that because he wants to be PC to sell the product. And then Fred, he just the OG. He gonna say what he feels.
I understand what Brandon's trying to do, but Brandon needs to understand that that's not what made you. People
Yeah.
like the fact that it was, raw and anything could be said about any subject. That's
Yeah.
what they tuned in for. The minute you try to take something that's rated, we'll just say PG-13, and try to make it G, you're gonna lose people.
Yep. Because when I said 55-50, you start laughing because you remember from that episode with Fred or whatever. So it's sad to see. But again, like I put on Facebook, we are our own worst enemies. We always shooting ourselves in the foot.
And just to be clear, I'm also going to mention Ocho versus Science.
Oh, and they touched on that because apparently Ocho wanted to deliver his baby. But the doctor was like, yeah, you can't do that by law. So they talked about it for a second. They said, really? And this is where I think they kind of took a little jab at Brandon. They're like, it should be Ocho versus Science. They said, there's not one thing you can name that he don't think he can't do. So it should be Ocho versus everything because he literally thinks he can do everything. Then Channing gonna say, yeah, he too dumb to realize he can't do everything. I was like, oh my God. I was like, again. But the thing about it, that was him being him. He wasn't forcing it. That's what Channing really felt and thought. So he said it. So it's just, I may keep watching, but I know at some point I'm no pun intended, I'm a pivot more to the pivot versus IAA.
Now, is the pivot also on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I will probably won't get to it tonight, but sometime tomorrow, I'll probably check out that first episode.
Yeah, I posted on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, it's sad though, but change comes, change happens. Sometimes it's not for the best.
I probably didn't see your Facebook page because me and social media, I'm usually on there sometime in the mornings around 6ish, 7ish, and then I'm not back until sometimes the next day.
I said this year I was gonna cut back, and I think I'm doing a pretty decent job for the most part, trying to pull it back, and because I'm just like, I want the DJ thing to get bigger, but I'm at the same time I'm like, I don't want it through Facebook. I want word of mouth to happen. People reach out to me, but I don't feel like being on Facebook all the time advertising.
Well, before we close up, do you want to do a little self-advertisement for the DJ thing? Let people know where they can find you, how they can get in touch or something?
I'm on every bus stop. I'm on the billboard.
If I said every bus stop, I start thinking of the dude with the the bow tie trying to sell the bean pies.
Oh man, you know what? I'm always looking to see how much does it cost to advertise on a bus stop. Watch that be the cheapest shit that people just don't even know about.
Hey, it can happen. I guarantee you, no joking here. It doesn't matter whether it's a bus stop, a billboard, even an ad in the yellow pages. If you put it out there, I guarantee your phone gonna ring a whole lot more.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't know you until they see you.
True. And I think once I get another gig and to see how this pandemic plays out, every so often I think I'm gonna put an ad somewhere just to kind of get out there. But just like right now, where it's like everything is starting to slowly kind of shut down again or whatever, I don't foresee this next month or two being profitable because I think a lot of things I'm seeing where comedy shows, concerts, things are getting canceled because of COVID.
Yeah, a lot of this indoor stuff. But let me tell you, if when it starts to get warm out again and you get that invite for the yacht party, find me.
Oh, I got you.
Even if they say they got a photographer, just say, hey, I need my assistant to come hold this crate of records. But Kevin, you're playing stuff electronically. It doesn't matter. I'll hold the crate of records that you'll never play that night just so that I can, be there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's about all the time we got for today. Please make sure that you like, share, and subscribe for those of you that are on YouTube. Any format that you listen to us or watch us on, leave a comment. Hit that thumbs up or the like buttons, whatever they are. That way we can keep our train rolling. Again, this is episode 92. I'm so happy that 100 is like right around the corner. We getting there.
Oh, my nose itch.
And that's all I got for today. Hopefully, we can get a lot of fun, newsworthy stuff next week. I need to make fun of more people next week. Have fun with it. Kevin, take us on home. I'm gonna drink whatever's in this cup.
That motherfucking Raider cup. First I want to give a shout out to this dude Steve and Any Given Sunday, who just really took offense to my post today, and it gave me all the greatest joy. I mean, today was a 0 day of no DUI for a Raider, so we had to celebrate. His response is, "You son of a bitch." I found that hilarious. So, but I'm thankful I got passionate of you today with the football talk. You know, sometimes it's like, you know, trying to give a baby a spoonful. You got to, you know, got to fly the plane to make it happen. That was a good back and forth. I loved it. I will give you guys an anecdote today. One of my personals. In the words of Shaq, if you see your corner getting treated like barbecue chicken, you got to ignore your game plan and give them some fucking help so you win the fucking game. Not lose to the damn Bengals. Team ain't been respected since Ocho was there. He been out the league, what, 30 years now? Spags, if I catch you in the parking lot, I'm whooping your ass for that game. Stupid motherfucker. That's why the Giants fired you. Let's end on a happy note. Richard won a bet finally against me. He took my bottle away because his punk ass team beat Carson Wentz's 9 throwing ass Colts. I shed a tear when that happened because I felt him laughing as he saw the final score.
I'm not laughing. I'm not.
Well, you smiled at least, you know.
We'll just say I gave a healthy wink because we still got one more game we need to win.
Well, here's the icing on the cake, though. My trusty fantasy football app was like the game was over. When I text you, y'all won, you like, "Oh, no, it ain't over yet." I'm like, motherfucker, I'm looking at it right now when it said the game is over. So I don't know where the delay was, but I was like, this month. But, you know, props to your squad. Let's see if they get win number 10. See if that happens.
Yeah, let's hope they get there. I need it. Now, there is another scenario that can still get them in the playoffs, even if they lose.
What, Jesus come back?
Besides that.
Oh, okay.
And what that is, see if my man can find that scenario real quick. Thought I had it.
So the tortoise need to beat the hare and Sleeping Beauty need to wake up?
Obviously, we want to win against the Chargers. That's the best way to get in. However, if we lose and Pittsburgh loses to the Ravens and the Colts lose to the Jaguars, which probably won't happen, we still get in.
Jaguars go play a better game because the fan base apparently came dressed as clowns last game to show their disrespect, their disgust of the team. And when you get a 50 burger put on you, you got to play hard the following week.
Well, we'll know, since we're the night game, we'll know how the Steelers and the Colts did before our game.
That's got to suck. But the Steelers losing, that might be a tough one because they're going to want to send Ben out on the high note. Because getting that win Monday night solidified that, again, Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season. If he don't go first ballot Hall of Fame when his time comes, that's utter disrespect. Because he's like 15 seasons, no losing season. No other coach has ever done that.
And I'll say this, the Steelers have had 3 coaches. Chuck Noll's in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Cowher's in the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
They had losing seasons.
Exactly.
So Mike Tomlin should be in the Hall of Fame.
And he's got, what, 2 rings or 1 ring?
They got 2.
Okay.
Ben's second year in the league, and that was with Jerome Bettis and all that. Then they sent Hines Ward off with a ring.
Yeah, so he's solidified then. If he's not first ballot Hall of Fame, it's because he's black. I'm just gonna put it out there because he's a black coach for Pittsburgh. But he's going to Hall of Fame right now. They need to take his clipboard, his fro, and just put it in the Hall of Fame in his shades.
He's in.
Yeah. All right, that's all I got. You mofos have a good one. Hopefully next week I'll be talking about how the Chiefs ripped Denver apart like Thanksgiving turkey when everybody hungry. They need to treat them like that turkey on National Lampoons when they carved it. And I'm over like,
we're going into the 10th consecutive year that Denver doesn't even know their identity on offense. So
they gonna know when Peyton by the team.
Huh?
They gonna know when Peyton by the team. I keep hearing more and more rumbles that Peyton getting his ducks in a row to where he about to buy the team. I know that's gonna piss Elway off.
But I thought Elway was trying to get cash together to buy the team.
That's what I'm saying. Elway trying to play the card of I'm good with the family. They're gonna sell to me. You and I both know that don't mean nothing. Because when it's all said and done, who would you rather sell to, Peyton or John? John is regional fame. Peyton is fucking global.
Can you imagine Monday Night Manning with a Denver game?
Man, if Peyton bought that squad, exponentially they gonna be better. And because they was like they one of the worst franchises when it comes to traveling for the team, all that's gonna change because he's gonna make sure he has a good product out there.
But not this year.
Oh no, not this year. They're trash. This year they're like they're trash. They're just trash. That's all you gotta say is they're trash.
All right. Well, that's all we got. Make sure you stay positive, stay blessed. And when we come back next week, we'll know who's in the tournament.
Yeah. I don't know why they just don't call it a tournament. That's what the fuck it is.
I've heard some people say it, but you know.
I will say, this is the last thing I'll say about the NFL. At some point, NFL, NBA, MLB, and hockey, you need to fix those computers. Get rid of everybody makes it the playoffs. Who's going to the playoffs? We about to put this shit in the pot and do it better than the tournament. And it's not going to be an NFC, AFC. We about to do brackets. I personally think that would be better.
I do too, because I hate to see a 10-7 team not get in while a 7-10 team from another division gets in.
I agree.
Because by the way, the Eagles in the NFC, I just want to give a shout out to Nelson. They're in.
Oh, you mean Uncle Nearest?
Regardless of what Philly does Sunday, they're in.
Yeah.
I just found out here reading that they are locked in as the 7th seed. Guess what? The number 6 seed, which is in a better position than them, San Francisco, they are not locked in.
Yeah.
If they lose and the Saints win, the Saints switch spots with them from 8 to 6 because they beat San Francisco.
That's always a big thing about Garoppolo and his thumb that they was worried about because their backup is Joe Smo.
Yeah. So, and what's funny is here, there's not even a 9th seed on the bubble in the NFC because they're like, it doesn't matter. Everybody else is so far back, they can't catch them. The Saints are the only team on the bubble in the NFC that can get in.
Yep.
I will say this before I go to, it's nice going into the last week of the regular season, looking at the long list of people's teams that say eliminated underneath them and not seeing the shield.
Last question. How does it feel to know that you're going to have a winning season for a change?
Bittersweet, because it happened when Gruden got sent packing. I wanted him to do it. But over that, though, I just wanted it to be done, no matter who did it.
So does that show you the team stopped listening to Gruden?
I don't think it was that they stopped listening. I think his coaching style just didn't work.
That was very diplomatic of you. That was a very diplomatic answer. You're a pro.
I am. I think that when Bisaccia and crew, they let the offense loose. They do so much better. If you notice these 3 games that they've won, they come back and they get in this 2-minute mode. When this fast-paced 2-minute offense, they produce because you don't give Carr time to think about it. It's like, here's the play, let's do it.
And I think Gruden's still living off the Tampa fame versus adjustments and tweaking to where y'all could have been a better team last year. Same talent.
Yeah. I mean, we avoided the annual slide. So that's
and the
good.
thing is, y'all doing it without Warren. And he was y'all go-to receiver.
Yeah, by the way, he'll be back Sunday.
He doesn't matter. He's a bum.
But hey, even if they lose, we got a winning season. We'll finish 9-8.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. My thing is, whoever the next QB, whoever the next, sorry about that, whoever the next coach is, I hope they can build off of it. Because the AFC is better when all teams are humming. Or at least 3 out of the 4. Punk ass Denver.
Yeah, because the Broncos were eliminated 2 weeks ago.
Broncos eliminated on the first kickoff of the season.
Actually, I think they won that game.
Yeah, they still was eliminated. Much as I love Teddy B, but when he took that concussion, I said their season's done.
Yeah,
Broncos eliminated when they let that running back go because they had Melvin Gordon. Granted, Gordon just played good for him, but you don't let that young stud go. Then he go to Jacksonville or some shit or whatever. That was dumb on ever. I was like, Elway magically, I'm gonna move up. I'm not gonna be GM anymore. Yeah, you messed up. When you send Von Miller to the Rams,
that was dumb.
Retire.
That was real dumb.
Yeah, you let him retire Bronco.
I think what Elway was trying to do was what we did with Khalil Mack. But we got something out of the deal.
Yeah, so did Chicago, because he's been balling, he just can't stay healthy.
But look at Chicago's record.
Yeah, but I'm like, Chicago's offense has been trash. I wouldn't want to stay healthy either because you're playing too many defensive snaps.
Yeah, and how does that, a product of the Andy Reid system, how is their offense trashed? They should be balling.
People fail to realize Nagy wasn't what they thought he was. Nagy spent one season as the QB coach and so-called offensive coordinator, assistant, and you thought that was him, you give him the job. He ain't looked the same since he's been there. Just like a dude who went to Philly, who left Andy. Again, quarterback coach, assistant offensive coordinator, you realize that wasn't him, that was all Andy. No different than when Charlie Weiss left New England. You thought it was Charlie Weiss, you learned that was more Belichick than Weiss. But now you can tell Josh Daniels is putting his wrinkle in himself to where he's making a name for himself. He came back home to get right. Just like with us, because you want him, dirty bastard. Bieniemy, he's got his wrinkle in that and he's doing that. He's not just there to be like, Andy, you think we should do this? What do you think? Bieniemy's calling stuff. He's doing the play calling. So perception will get you a job. Skill set will keep you employed. Nagy's fired. Oh boy got fired in Philly. They don't have the skill set.
Agreed.
That's why I give Bieniemy props for not leaving after the Super Bowl last year. The year before last year, just trying to take a job. He's making sure he gets just that much better. Like I told Tim, say we win it this year. Don't be surprised if Andy rides off to the sunset and Bieniemy takes over. Because you're the winningest coach, you're top 5 all time. What do you have left to do? You got 2 rings. You literally built a dynasty in 2 different franchises, 2 different conferences. What do you have left to prove? And Tim was like, man, he having too much fun. That motherfucker's in his 80s. How much fun is he having?
I agree with you. One more thing before I go, because dinner's ready.
What y'all eating?
Chili. If Andy doesn't go, Bieniemy, we got you on speed dial, bro. We got you on speed dial.
2 more years. If Bieniemy don't get to step up in 2 years, then I think he's out. I give him at least one, at least next season, because his name's gonna stay hot. Because we go keep winning. But like I told Tim, I can see Andy stepping down and being special advisor to the team, and Bieniemy gives the keys to the car. So it's gonna be interesting. But he ain't going to Oakland. I already talked to him. Well, it was my bad, Vegas. He ain't going to Vegas. Yeah,
Red and
we
gold, silver and black. It's all green.
He said he'd get a rash, so he said he ain't going there.
You can pay for a lot of rash cream with that rash.
He gonna have a Neosporin on the sideline.
Remember, we are playing with Vegas money now. It's not the same old dirt poor team from 2010, 2012. This is a team that's got
next year.
We got whole casinos backing us. All we gotta do is drive the Brinks truck up to Bieniemy's house. Says, "Hey, come on up here and get what you want."
So what you telling me is the Brinks truck got more money on the barbecue here? Is that what you telling me?
Yeah, I mean when the coach that's no longer with us was offered a 10-year, $100 million deal, that let everybody know.
Yeah, I just took away his Wi-Fi and email, and he will still be there.
Yeah. Speaking of the Washington football team, real quick before I go, February 2nd, they will announce the new logo and team name.
Do we care?
They just announced that so they could just like have an excuse to be part of the Super Bowl.
I thought the same thing. Unless it ain't gonna be Washington bums, do we care?
It might be.
They should be Washington career killers. They killed Alex Smith's career.
Literally.
And Haskins.
They killed his career twice. Snapped his leg and then benched him prematurely. Comeback player of the year, and you're gonna start the other kid. Whatever.
Exactly. Oh well though. We go end it. He got to go eat some nasty ass chili. And I got to figure what I'm eating for dinner, period. So we'll see y'all later. I'll let you boys.
But
oh, my bad. But don't yell because my ears.
Okay, yeah. All right. Good night, everybody.